There's that thing.
There's that thing. What was that thing?
The recording thing.
Oh, we recording now?
We are. We're officially on tape. Ew, gross.
Gross. Why are you recording this on tape?
You know, that old school feel. Just in case someone wants to listen to it on their Walkman or their boombox.
That's what we should do. Throwbacks.
Yeah, dude. Like, bands do that shit. Well, they're not
Put
right now.
everything onto a cassette. Put our podcast onto a cassette. And we just call it Vintage Podcast.
Yeah.
Boom. First ones to do it.
Yep.
Probably the only ones. But you know what? Pioneers.
It's true. I don't know if it's a great thing to pioneer, but we're going to do it.
You could partner up with Pioneer. We're going to be pioneers with Pioneer.
Yeah. Fuck it.
They still do audio stuff, right?
Yeah, they do car stereos and home stereos, and
there you go.
I think they do other stuff. Not actually too sure.
I honestly haven't looked at Pioneer equipment in so long.
It's true. That's true. Neither have I. Well, I mean, other than car stereos, because somebody has to deal with those every day.
Right.
But anyways. So did you watch those trailers or no?
Yes, I did watch them just before we jumped on here.
Okay. What do you think of Luca?
It's interesting. I kept looking at it, and I only watched it once. The animation reminded me of something I cannot put my finger on it. I know it's a Pixar movie, but just the animation in general reminded me of a 2D animation, and I just cannot put my finger on it. Other than that, it looked interesting. Didn't really get too much of a plot elements onto it. You just are introduced to two children in a fishing town, village type place next to a sea. And towards the end there, you find out that on land, these two kids look like normal children, but when they enter the water, they look like sea monkeys?
Mer people.
Mer people?
Yep.
I mean, they reminded me more of the sea monkeys from South Park, if anything, than direct mer people, which would be like, half fish, half person type thing.
That makes sense.
Like a fish tar or something. I don't know.
Fish tar?
I mean...
Fish tar!
I don't know, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically... Luca is the girl you see in it, who is more featured in voice than she is anything else. But, whatever. It is what it is. She befriends these two kids who just happen to be, sea creatures or sea monsters, as it says in the description. It says here, bum, 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 bum. That is not the right button. I don't know how to use computers, so you have to bear with me for a second.
Well, it's a good thing you don't work on computers.
Yeah, good grief. On the Italian Riviera, an unlikely but strong friendship grows between a human being and a sea monster disguised as a human. Clearly, no one watched this trailer to update this because there's two of them.
Two of them.
And then, where's the Pixar one? Here it is. This is the one written by Pixar, I believe, is the one I found earlier. A young boy experiences an unforgettable seaside summer on the Italian Riviera filled with gelato, pasta, and endless scooter rides. Luca shares these adventures with his Luca may be one of the kids apparently, with his newfound best friend, but all the fun is threatened by a deeply held secret. He is a sea monster from another world just below the ocean's surface. That's the description as it is said on here. Clearly, I don't know if there's more to it, because the trailer shows 3 kids, 2 of them mer people, sea monsters apparently, and the other one not so much. But I don't know. But it looks gorgeous.
Oh, it definitely looks amazing.
Yeah. As I was saying, I was telling Paige earlier, I was like, the characters look more cartoonish than they have in previous Pixar movies. Yeah. Like, Pixar always characterizes the people, like in Up, for example, like they have real big heads, you know. In Coco, which is the one they reference in this one because it's the last big one from, I guess, this team inside Pixar, they were more proportionate. You know what I mean? Like, they still had characters, like, 'cause obviously some people's heads were giant, were bigger than they normally would, but they're still very proportionate to their bodies. This one looks very much more cartoonish. Like, I said to her, I was like, it looks very much like the way they did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Yeah. Bigger than normal eyes, you know, like big expressional mouths, things like that. Just is what it looked like to me, at least.
Maybe that's what the animation was reminding me of.
It could be,
because, like I said, that's pretty much what it didn't look like previous Pixar movies, but it was reminding me of something else. It might have been, maybe it was Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I don't remember now. I'd have to go back and watch it again, and again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So yeah, it's interesting. The environments they have is just, I mean, they're unbelievable. They're just, I was like, holy shit. But the effects of them going in and out of the water was pretty spectacular. I was like, oh, that's a hell of a thing. And even when they like spit the water on his friend, and his friend turned half mer person, I was like, holy shit. Look at that transition. You guys are like magic and something.
Right? It's like you guys do this for a living or something.
Yeah, you guys should like look at doing this like more.
Stop doing these YouTube things and do this professionally.
Yeah. Yeah, you should gotta get out and make the movie in them picture show theaters. So yeah, no, it looked pretty good. I was pretty excited. That one comes out June 18th. Yeah, there it is, June 18th. Expected June 18th. Who fucking knows nowadays? You know what I mean?
Are they expecting a theatrical? I don't know. I can said that weird theatrical release.
We don't know yet. It just says. I don't even actually. You know what? I don't even know if the trailer says in theaters or not. Actually, to tell you the truth, to tell you the matter of factness.
I stopped it before it got to that point, and then hopped over to the other movie that you suggested.
Yes.
Watch the trailer of
Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead by Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
this is what
man.
He's also been doing in the meantime, while also working on the reshoots or the redo of Justice League. Yeah. I don't know why I keep confusing that with the other ones.
I don't either.
It looked really good. This is something I really do want to watch. Is it a direct sequel to
Dawn of the Dead?
No, not Army of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead, yeah.
No. It's his own thing. I believe it's his own thing.
Okay. So it doesn't have any real connection to the Dawn of the Dead, just the fact that he directed the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe.
Whatever.
Because I think yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with, because I couldn't see, I was looking up the IMDb page, look at info, and there's nothing listing that was, other than its fact it's zombies, and obviously his first big movie was a zombie flick. I just think the premise they have on Wikipedia is a hilarious but completely accurate description. A group of mercenaries plot a heist on a Las Vegas casino during a zombie outbreak. That's it. That's all. It's literally that one sentence. And I was like, that's exactly what we saw. And a guy with a bat.
It really is exactly what we saw.
Yeah. I thought it was
bonkers.
pretty cool.
Looks amazing. And it looks like something I want to see. Yeah. What's the release date on this guy?
May 21st.
May 21st.
May 21st of 2021 on the old Netflix.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
We
pretty
get to be bring that thing.
Yeah, right? It's like, dang. It's cool too because like it just got a huge cast, and so they're gonna fucking murder off some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially ones that have like one name. Chambers, dead. If you had a nickname, I'm pretty sure you're gonna live, right?
No.
No? Damn. Well, bye.
No.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, really, the biggest names in it are Dave Bautista.
Yeah, that was awesome to see.
Omari Hardwick, Garrett Dillahunt, Tig Notaro. I think that's all the ones I really knew. I mean, some of the people I saw in it like were familiar looking, but I was like, I couldn't pull your fucking name out of a hat if you gave me 9 chances. And there were 8 names. Yeah, no, that trailer, I mean, it's just a teaser, which is probably more than we really needed. You probably just could have given me, like, a picture. Well, they did give us a picture, but a picture of, like, them shooting guns at zombies. I'm like, well, I'm in. Because all you had to say is Zack Snyder. I'm like, well, here's my money. Oh, it's on Netflix? You already have my money.
Right? He does those bonkers types of movies really well.
Mm-hmm. Which I love to see. Let that kid loose, man. I don't know why anyone doesn't.
Well, because his stuff tends to be like really out there, and a lot of people tend to not like it. I really enjoyed Sucker Punch, but there's a lot of people that didn't really enjoy Sucker Punch.
Those people are wrong, Joe. They're called incorrect.
Completely wrong. Hey, speaking of Zack Snyder, did you read any of that Vice article? Verge?
Which one?
The interview that he did, essentially about the Justice League movie, why he stepped away and everything.
Is it a newer one or is it the older one?
No, it's a newer one as far as I'm aware. It came out this past week.
Oh, you know what? I did see that. I didn't read it though, because it popped up on my Apple News feed.
Yeah, I only got through half of it. And one of the reasons why I only got through half of it because it was depressing as fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I never knew the reason why he had to step away from Justice League. I knew that it was a family issue, but I didn't know that it was one of his daughters, committing suicide. It was like, oh my god, no wonder why it was so hard to just come back to anything.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I was like, bro, take your time.
He talked about how he didn't even really have the desire to really come back and redo Justice League. It wasn't until that huge amount of fan support that he decided to come back and try and get what we're going to get in a couple of weeks here. But then probably even it had issues with making the zombie movie here.
Yep.
Because that'll be his first actual project after that happened.
Yeah, it was his first thing he went into after he came back from the family thing, which is, I mean, like, good for him, but it's also like, god damn, man, like,
it's so hard to read.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus. Yeah, I remember him talking about it a while back. He was mentioning about it on something. Oh, I know what it was. It was in that DC fandom thing that they did. He was talking about it, and I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay. Cool. Yikes. I mean, what do you say? Like, thank you for coming back. I don't know. Like,
quietly sit down and just say sorry.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, like, Jesus. Okay, cool. Awesome. This is the thing I wanted to bring up too. I'll leave this here because it was very interesting to me to see. There wasn't anything in April. Anyways, yeah. So it's I mean, I'm glad he came back to do stuff, and I guess I don't know if he said it in this article, or I know he said it before. His wife was one of the big proponents of coming back and doing things because it's where, I think the words he used were, that's where he shines, or that's where he something basically, like, that's like who he is he's a creator, and so she's like, we need to get back because they work together very closely. Like she's a very big producer attached to a lot of the projects, and I guess she's like, we need this to keep us focused, not to take away from anything. We've had our time. This is what we need to do because you need to be yourself, and this is being yourself or whatever it was. Yeah, but I was like, oof, man, that is not what I expected. I thought expecting like one of those things like, like mental health issue for him or whatever, like stress on his family. But I'm like, that's a whole different set of family problems to go through.
Did you also hear that apparently his wife and Christopher Nolan, he's never seen Whedon's cut of Justice League. He's never watched it.
Yeah, I do know that. Apparently
because when it got finished, Nolan and his wife were like, because Christopher Nolan is an executive producer of a lot of all of the DC movies, if I recall right, actually. And both of them were like, yeah, you probably should watch this. Like it's probably like they knew that it was that bad.
Yep. Yeah. I was like, oh well, ouch.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty bad when people tell you not to watch the movie you spent years making.
Which we come to find out, he didn't even make this movie pretty much at all.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is we've learned throughout the last few weeks and months that not only is this cut truly Snyder's cut, but I think someone said like only 40 minutes of the theatrical cut was what he made. And I was like, oh my goodness. Which makes me kind of want to watch the original, the theatrical version of it. But then I'm like, or hold on, listen, hear me out. Not. And just go in as fresh as possible and know that this is what we should have gotten, and it is now what we got.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to do that. I don't know if I want to go back, and maybe I'll go back and watch like Batman v Superman.
Okay, yeah, which is a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean it's an enjoyable movie,
especially the extended version.
Yeah, extended version is much better. Because I know that, I mean, obviously that leads directly into this one, where you don't really need Suicide Squad and Man of Steel, because Man of Steel obviously is leading this one, but this like the companion movie to this one is Batman v Superman because it directly lines up this particular movie. And the fact that it was done by him, so that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm super down for that one. I'm super down for Army of the Dead, just because it looks fucking insane. I mean, Dave Bautista with the machine gun.
Yes, please. Right.
Every day.
Right.
Like, please just give me that whenever you're gonna do something. Or him, with knives jumping at a giant tentacle monster. I'll take that as well. I mean, either way.
Yeah, right.
Let's see. Next up, I was hoping the guys would be here for this, because I want to talk about Spider-Man 3, or as it's known now, Spider-Man No Way Home. I have a lot of thoughts about this movie, but also I don't trust anything that they're telling us at all.
Because why would you?
Like, at all.
It's way too early.
Yeah, like I don't... Y'all motherfuckers... I mean, it's supposed to come out in December of this year, but I could easily see them pushing that back due to the, ever-changing world that we live in. But it just happened that Tom Holland was going to be going on Jimmy Fallon the other night. And it just happens to be that he accidentally posted a picture, a post to Instagram talking about the new title for the movie. Then, mere hours later, the actor who plays his best friend in the movie also posted on Instagram a completely different title. Then Zendaya, who plays MJ, posted another title, like an hour later after that on Instagram. And
so what
then,
titles were they? What were the titles?
So there were. Let me see if I can find the exact names, because they went from plausible to ridiculous real quick.
Were they some of the names that were on the actual whiteboard that you end up seeing from No Way Home?
No, I don't. Well, actually, I don't think. I think they were all different ones. Let's see if I can find this little stupid thing in here. So on Holland's post, he referred to it as Spider-Man Phone Home, which clearly is not
reference there.
Yeah, ET reference.
We're traveling through space and time, aliens. What are we doing here?
Yep. Then Jacob Batalon, I believe is how you say his name, who plays his best friend in the movie, posted a thing saying he's ready for people to see Spider-Man Homewrecker.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Zendaya shows up with a title called Spider-Man Home Slice. Like I said, goes from plausible, phone home, all right, not the greatest, and then goes to ridiculous. And what really threw me off is the fact that we all know we've seen things pop up. They're just too well lined up, like in a row, to then them finally like revealing the name, coming out of John Watts' office, and then like the whole whiteboard and blah blah blah. And I was like, y'all trying to fuck with us now, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it one bit. And Boss Logic had posters up for almost all of them almost immediately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like the phone home one was him reaching up with a glowing finger.
So E.T., yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then Home Slice was two fist bumping, but one of them looked like Miles Morales' suit.
Ooh.
I was like, okay. And then I can't remember what the other one was he posted too. The Homewrecker one was something else. I do know that Tom Holland's brother makes a cameo in this one as a drug dealer, which I thought was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
But no, what I want to talk about is theories about what this is. So, sort of confirmed, sort of not confirmed, because on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Tom Holland said that the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, it does not feature 3 Spider-Men.
Okay, so it features more than 3.
Thank you. So my whole thing is we kind of already know that these other Spider-Man actors are in it. Mm-hmm. We know that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are coming back, along with an opposing villain from their movie, Doc Ock and Electro, obviously played by Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx, respectively. So we know they're coming across. The one thing we don't know is who is Tom Holland's villain that he's facing, because they each have their own, right? And I don't think
so far we've only really seen Mysterio, right?
Yeah, and because Mysterio, obviously, like his whole big thing, because we don't know actually if he's dead or not, because like he's a lion sack of shit, and we didn't see a body, blah blah blah, right? My question.
Actually, you have also Vulture.
Yeah, you have Vulture too.
Vulture. Yeah.
Yeah, Vulture's in there obviously because he shows up in the Morbius trailer, which we now know is sort of kind of tied into this universe. Anyways, so my thinking is this. I don't know how the whole mechanics works, because obviously Doctor Strange is in it, and there's a whole multiverse thing, because obviously the other Spider-Man and their things. I don't think Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx are in it too much. I think they're in it until their Spider-Men get pulled into the current multiverse.
So this isn't a team-up movie of the villains. This isn't a Sinister Six movie where...
No. I think, I think they're
From
featured.
other universes, and the other three Spider-Man have to help out.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, and I could be wrong about this, but I think Kraven the Hunter is the main villain, and I think he's the one that actually pulls the other Spider-Mans into our multiverse. And I think it's all down to, I think he's trying to hunt the most dangerous game, because obviously that was his big thing with Spider-Man.
That was his big thing, but he's never been a big technological guy. That's my only issue with that theory.
Well, we're in a world right now where everybody has some kind of tech, because apparently Tony Stark had a garage sale that no one knew about, or someone in Stark Industries had a fucking garage sale, and everybody has shit.
Well, there was that. Also, the fact that you basically had alien bits raining down over New York. Anybody could just take it. I mean, that was the whole point of Vulture. Where he was just taking tech and reusing it for other stuff.
Yeah, he was disposing of it. So I think he's done something. He's working with somebody else, and I don't. Again, this is just, I'm throwing out ideas. But I think he's the main villain, and I think he is trying to find the best version of Spider-Man to take down. And I don't even think he's from our Peter Parker's, but like Tom Holland's world. Yeah. I think his multiverse, his universe, he might be from another one where he's already killed at least one.
And then he realizes he understands about the multiverse, and so he somehow gets technology to go Spider-Man hunting through the multiverse.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking he captures the other two mid-fight with their respective villains, brings them across, and then our version of Peter, we'll say, saves him. You know what I mean? Saves them, and then they are teaming up against just Kraven, or even more, like, if you want, even Electro and Doc Ock, who obviously probably want a piece of each of the Spider-Mans as well, of their respective ones, but also just in general. So that's my theory. I think that's what we're looking at, and it's more of like a left field fucking just aim for the fucking fences guess, but that's my theory of something around that. And I think that's how they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I think.
So how does that?
I think Reed Richards, they go to him. They need someone to help them, basically close this, like I don't know, monitor or whatever, like stop the breaches from opening between the multiverse.
I mean, we're right in the middle of Miles Morales. What was the name of that movie? It was
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. Yeah, we're right in the middle of Into the Spider-Verse type thing.
Yeah, because I think
villain.
Because I don't think they're gonna go as crazy as the comic books do with the whole Spider-Verse storyline, where like these interdimensional vampires are hunting down the Spider-Man and draining them because they taste the best. I think it's more of they're going to use that idea for Kraven to want to hunt down the best, like all of the Spider-Mans, because they're the biggest challenge. Mm-hmm. And I think that's how we're probably, we may get a Miles that way, at least a glimpse at him in live action, even if we don't see him. I don't think he's the one that he gets killed off. That'd be fucked up. But I think we're going to get a glimpse of a bunch of different Spider-Men, just as, like, because with the whole thing with the comic book, they were able to pinpoint basically what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man, and track them through the webs of time, as they called them, and it links them all together. And I think that's kind of similar. They did obviously Into the Spider-Verse, the animated motion picture from a couple years ago. So I think that's what's kind of going to happen in this one. I think. I'm not too sure yet.
It's an interesting theory. My only question about it would be how the title ties into it, the No Way Home thing. So does that mean that somebody gets left behind, or somebody?
Yes, because I think to me, the mechanism is either going to be tied directly to Craven, or is going to be if it's like, hey, the only way back to your home is you have to kill me type of thing, and none of them want to kill him, and then he destroys the device when one of them, I don't know. And I'm thinking because I was thinking the same thing as where's this title come from? Because if you look at the other titles, they tie to different things in his life. So obviously Homecoming is him coming home as Spider-Man,
Yep.
Far From Home, he's in Europe, obviously.
Yeah, so Far From Home.
Yeah, No Way Home, I don't think, and this is, I mean, again, I'm just throwing out stupid ideas to try to, see if anything sticks to the wall. I think it refers to either one of the Spider-Mans, Miles, being left in our universe to be the more centrally based in New York Spider-Man, letting Tom Holland Spider-Man go and be an Avenger, and be more of that connected to the bigger movies things. That way we can have a fresh new Spider-Man trilogy to play with, while Peter, Tom Holland's Peter, is off doing Avengers stuff with maybe the young Avengers or the new Avengers, whatever you want to call them. Because I don't think there's a lot of theories that have you watched WandaVision?
No, I haven't seen any of it yet. Okay,
spoiler alert, real quick. Their kids, her kids are in it, and if you don't know who her kids are, they are two superheroes from later on in the universe, named Wiccan and Speed. One has her powers, one has her brother's powers, and they become part of the Young Avengers. I don't think this show is setting up for them to be that. I think it's literally just using them. Not saying that she couldn't have kids later on down the road, but I think the ones featured in the show are not real. But and when you watch, it's not a spoil. That's not a spoiler for the show because I haven't watched the end of the last episode, which is as of recording tomorrow, as of debut right now. But I have a feeling they're not real, but they are a glimpse of what could be real in the future. But I think setting up with an all-new set of Avengers for future movies is where we're looking at. And I think Peter is going to be a linchpin in part of that, along with probably Doctor Strange, probably even Scarlet Witch, and maybe a newer version of Vision, which, if you know comic books, they're leading to that in this show. Again, not a spoiler. You already know he's dead. So,
yes.
But anyways, yeah, I think they're doing a really good job of building a bigger world, and this is literally just like the smallest of stepping stones to where we're going, and a lot of it has to do with visuals in this show as well. But obviously, No Way Home title, I think, just means that either I had two theories. One is the universe that Peter is in is not actually his, or one of the other Spider-Mans get trapped here, which my guess would not be either Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. It would be a younger one, a la Miles Morales. But again, I'm just guessing at random shit at this point. But
that might also help reconcile the ending of the last movie where his identity is shown too.
Yeah.
Because if you bring over Miles Morales, obviously nobody's going to know who that is, and you leave him in New York, and Peter goes off to do essentially Iron Man stuff.
Yep.
Take over as the new Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then again, you could have a whole new series of Spider-Man. He just fits right into that role. He can take up the fighting against Vulture and obviously Scorpion we saw a hint at, and Mysterio and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the other one can just go off and be Iron Man, Iron Spider.
Yep. Yeah, because, I mean, it plays... There's two things. One is, in the comic books, and I don't remember what book it was. I'm not a fucking encyclopedia. But I do know at one point, Doctor Strange magics away everyone knowing who Peter is. once his identity is identified. And I want to say it was after he revealed himself in Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I think, and I could be wrong, it could be a different series because his identity's been spoiled so many times, it's ridiculous. But I want to say it's the Civil War one. Doctor Strange wipes, I want to say it's Doctor Strange, it might even be Wanda that does it, but someone wipes everybody's conscious of knowing who Peter is, as Peter being Spider-Man, and then goes from there. But I believe, that was my theory, as you just said, Peter's identity as Spider-Man is exposed. He's exposed as a murderer. Obviously, they're going to solve that in this one because you can't have him going out, everyone thinking that, hey, he can't be a hero, he's a murderer. They're not supposed to murder, even though tons of people have been murdered by the hands of the Avengers.
Oh, tons.
Not just humans, but aliens as well. But we're, you're invading, it's war, I get it. But, I mean, Captain America, on a ship, of all things, killed a bunch of dudes just by kicking one guy so hard he broke through a railing on a boat. He's not gonna swim. He's knocked out. He's gonna drown in the water. That's dead. Anyhow, I think it'd be a perfect way to start a brand new trilogy of Spider-Man movies, but also a nice way to bring in the Morbius, the Venom, the Carnage stuff all into that one. You tie it to that Spider-Man because they don't know that Spider-Man. Well, we do know in Morbius's world they know of a Spider-Man because you see that poster and it says murderer scribbled on it in graffiti. But that also looks like the video game version, but also kind of looks like the Andrew Garfield version of Spider-Man more than it does Tom Holland's. But I think that's a good way to kind of like have a different Spider-Man outside Tom Holland in these other movies and have his own. You can do a Sinister Six with Miles. You can do all that stuff with a different Spider-Man and have Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man be the Avenger half of it with whoever else they're going to have in that team. But that's just a thought. Just spitballing ideas, everybody. Speaking of spitballing ideas.
Uh-oh.
Comes naturally, we are...
Joe.
And Cody. And no one else here. It's just us, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to talk about... Have you watched the trailer for Coming to America 2? Or Coming to America?
No.
Okay. You've seen the original, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, real quick synopsis of the second one is... obviously, Prince Akeem, played by Eddie Murphy, he is set to become king of Zamunda, with his ailing father getting ready to pass away. But he needs an heir, and in their world, an heir cannot be a woman because sexism. And so he only has a daughter. So then he finds out magically that he has a son over in America. So, we know because he thinks he has a son over there. So we know he'd be fucking in that first movie that we didn't see. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They weren't there. They must have been there for a while, but like he'd be fucking when they were there. Like we know. So he has a son he didn't know about, who is now technically gonna be the Prince of Zamunda with him being king. So he needs to get him as the crown prince, right? So the whole plot is him going back to America and introducing himself to his long-lost son and bringing him across to be the prince.
Okay.
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Okay? I'll give you one solid piece of evidence to go by. Okay?
Okay.
So, do you remember the first movie when Arsenio Hall's character, who's his best friend and consort, aide, I guess you would call him, was telling everybody he was the prince of Zamunda?
No, I don't remember this.
Okay. So, when they weren't together and he was out on his dates, Arsenio was going through and telling everybody who he was the prince to try to get bitches. Mm-hmm. So I think he laid pipe with some broad, and this movie is played by Leslie Jones, got her pregnant all the time, her thinking he was Akeem not Semi, right? So she's been telling her son over all these 20-something years that his father is the Prince of Zamunda, when really his dad is Semi, the fake Prince of Zamunda, because he lied to her. And then Eddie, as king, changes the rule so his daughter can be the ruling person, and whoever she marries becomes the king. But she has the equal power, if not the same power. Like the bloodline would say the same, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my theory about it. It just makes too much sense if you've seen the first movie. And then in this, if I'm not mistaken, and again, I'm going by what little we saw in the trailer and the casting, Wesley Snipes plays a lieutenant who's a warlord now or something. I can't remember what I saw in there. His daughter was originally the betrothed of Akeem that he didn't want to marry, and then he went to America to find his queen, right? That was the one that was supposed to be groomed to be his soon-to-be queen when he becomes king, right? He obviously said, nah, I don't want that. I want to find my own love. And so I went to America. So I think there's now going to be pressure for, if he can't find an heir, for his daughter to marry either his gross old ass or a male heir in his family to then become king and like join the families, much like they were with his daughter in the first movie. So I think that's I think that's what's going to happen. Again, I don't know because it doesn't really say in here, but I think that's what's happening.
Fair enough. Makes sense to me.
But we'll find out on March 5th on Amazon Prime, if I'm not mistaken, is where it's going to be at. Which it just dawned on me, March 5th is next Friday.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Which is pretty goddamn close.
Yep.
There's something else comes out on March 5th, right? Oh, Raya and the Last Dragon.
What?
Raya and the Last Dragon, that Disney movie? That's on the 5th, too. Yeah.
Didn't that trailer just drop?
The newest trailer just dropped. They had a trailer before, which was more of a teaser trailer, when they thought the movie was going to come out last year. And then COVID happened. Everything got fucking shuffled as we watched all our movies.
This is coming out in theaters.
So Raya is coming out in theaters as well as Premier Access. The extra dollar amount you spend on the Disney Plus app to watch it at home, just like they did with Mulan, and they may do with Black Widow. Who knows? That's still up in the air. No one's announced that yet, but people think it's going to happen that way. But it'll also be in theaters and on the streaming service for an extra dollar amount, which I think is like $30. I think it's $30. But coming to America is going right to Amazon Prime Video March 5th. So they're on the same day. But anyhow, that was my theory.
It's a good theory. I don't have like that same. I know you were hoping that Mike would be here because I know he has that same like love for that movie, and I don't really have that. You know, I've watched it, but like it was like, okay, it's an Eddie Murphy movie, not the type of Eddie Murphy movie that I really care for. I'm more of a Beverly Hills Cop, type Eddie Murphy.
It's a great movie as well.
It is a great movie, which, by the way, I think is coming to Amazon Prime this month. I think it's Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they have a bunch of stuff, which makes you think they're going to make a new one. Because I know he wants to do another one of those movies, and if this one goes well, I think they make another one through Amazon with him, which I'm completely fucking fine with.
I'm absolutely down for that. So your theory sounds pretty okay with me. Even while you were describing things, I was like, well, okay, by the end of the movie, they're going to learn their lesson, and they're good. The daughter's just going to become queen type thing. Yeah. So adding more to it with the other side of things makes sense as well.
Because obviously, if he's, and the other thing too is they like Hakeem's daughter and Semi's son, if I'm correct, they could fall in love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And become king and queen anyways, which would make sense because she fell in love with an American and he fell in love with an American. It just happens to be it's also the son of his best friend, her probably at that point great uncle, godfather or something. I don't know, whatever Semi would be to her in relationship would be the thing. So that's the other thing I was thinking too. I was like, but also that seemed a little simple and like I don't know if that's the same. But anyways, I that was my theory about it. I thought it was pretty sound. Paige looked at me like I was a fucking psychopath because she has no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, she's too young to have seen Coming to America.
Yeah, she gonna watch it though. We gonna watch it.
Oh, I'm sure she is. You're gonna watch that, and then you're gonna watch Coming to America.
Yeah, I made her watch Top Secret, by the way.
What movie was that?
Val Kilmer, made in 1984. It's that satire movie made by the people who made Airplane, where he's like the pop singer.
Nope, I haven't seen it.
You've never seen Top Secret?
Never seen Top Secret. I've seen The Saint.
Shit, yeah, The Saint's awesome. You know, it's funny. It's funny about that is a dude that's in Top Secret with Val Kilmer was in the original television program The Saint, based on the 1964 movie The Saint.
Weird.
Yeah, nuts, right? I was like, when I was doing my research, because I was talking about it on the podcast, on my show, I was doing the research and I was like, holy shit, that's insane. How weird.
Worlds collide, man.
Yeah, and then I found out that the dude who plays Grand Moff Tarkin in Star Wars is in that movie as well. Is in Top Secret. And I was like, Jesus, what the hell? Anyways, it was crazy. But yeah, I was like, oh, it's so weird that they're both in that property somehow.
Yeah.
Saint's a great movie, by the way. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I do enjoy that movie a lot.
I could easily say it's my favorite Val Kilmer movie. I know Willow is really high up there as well.
Willow's good too. Yeah, I'll allow you to say that because it is a good movie. There's other stuff he's done that you probably haven't seen, but they're not. I don't know if they're completely your style movie because they're kind of not really things that you gravitate towards. Plus, they're smaller movies. I don't want to say indie movies because they're made. Well, actually, Salt and Sea might be considered a indie movie. I think it was made for like $14. But there's other stuff you should check out with Val Kilmer if you haven't already. Which it doesn't sound like you have.
No, it doesn't sound like I have. Batman, Willow, Top Gun, and...
You've seen Real Geniuses?
I may have seen Real Geniuses.
Where it's in high school, where it's the college where they're like an MIT type college where they're building stuff. They end up building a mirror that's used on a space weapon. And that's the bad guy.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
Come on, man, get your life together, Joe.
That was back in the day when I didn't really watch movies.
That's fair.
As a kid, I watched the big stuff, but I didn't watch the other stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I think that movie might have been. No, you were alive. I think you were 2 when that movie came out.
So 85?
It was either 85 or 86 when that movie came out. Top Secret was in 84. Actually, it might have been 85 because Top Secret was 84. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. But I believe it was 85, so you might have been 2.
Yeah, see, like any movie before 1987, 88 pretty much didn't exist to me when I was young.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's a solid statement.
It's pretty much. Obviously, you have Star Wars, and I think the first Indiana Jones was
1986, right?
86, yeah, right on that cusp. So there are some exceptions, but like for the most part, unless it was a big historic movie, it flew under the radar for me.
Yeah, Real Geniuses does not get the credit it deserves. That's a bold statement. That doesn't make much sense.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Yep. Let's see how this plays out, Cotton. But I think that's it. That's all I got. That's all the things and stuffs I was going to talk about. Do you got anything else before we wrap this bitch up?
There's a couple of things that we didn't mention. I would say one, the release dates for Loki and Star Wars: The Bad Batch. What is it? Loki is
June 11th?
I lost it. Where'd it go?
I want to say Loki's June 11th, if I saw it right earlier.
June 11th. Yeah, Loki is June 11th, and The Bad Batch is May the 4th. So, Star Wars Day.
Yeah. Which I thought was really funny.
Yeah, right? Let's see. The other thing that we can go over real quick. Did you see that? I didn't know they were making a Blue Beetle movie.
Yeah, man. The first Latino superhero.
Yeah. They just attached the director to it. Angel Manuel Soto, who apparently directed Charm City Kings last year. I never saw it, so I don't really know much about it. But yeah, Jaime Reyes playing the Blue Beetle. So he'll be the first Mexican-American to actually don the Blue Beetle outfit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Didn't they just announce a Latino girl playing Supergirl in something in the Flash movie, right?
That I didn't read, no.
Yeah, Anu Chetty announced the actress playing her, and she's going to be... they're not going to make her white. They're going to let her be... I'm pretty sure probably her name may still be Kara, but she's an alien, but she's going to have dark hair. Like, they're not changing her to have blonde hair or something like that. But Anu Chetty, by the way, who did it Chapter 1 and 2, is doing the Flash movie, if you guys didn't know that. I guess it should have been a thing, too.
Yeah. But Blue Beetle looks like it'll be streamed on HBO Max, so we'll be able to get that. No release date or anything yet, but that'll be cool.
Yeah, because it's one of the projects they want to do as it's loosely based in the DCEU, but isn't...
But it's not directly related to the rest of the properties that we have going right now.
Yeah. Like it's they in the realm of like Titans and Doom Patrol, right? It's kind of like in that same fashion where it's like outside but still in the DCEU, but not like Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Justice League, things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of Justice League, did you see the sort of spoiler of the person that is going to make a cameo appearance? I feel like we've already known this, but it came out as Zack Snyder was reshooting everything. Well, not reshooting everything, but redoing stuff. He actually asked Henry Lennox to come back.
Yes.
And shoot some additional scenes for the new movie. And if you don't know who that is, he's the actor playing Martian Manhunter. So it was confirmed that he was in one of the previous movies as the human version of him, but it looks like he's going to make a cameo at the end of the Snyder Cut as the Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, he is. So if you remember Man of Steel, he's the general that's in that wants to confront him with the aide at the end where like Superman shows up and says, "Hey, like you're watching me where I'm going." That's him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. I was like, all right, no, I'm down for that, for sure. Because, like, because it's funny, because in a deleted scene from Man of Steel, I think it was, he was supposed to transform. Like, you're supposed to not see him directly transform, but he's supposed to be doing something that made you think he was transforming back into his human form, because he's a shapeshifter, because Martians, which is funny, they're not actually from Mars, but they call him Martian Manhunter, and he doesn't even hunt man, which I thought was really weird. Anyhow, he was supposed to be transfiguring when he's walked in by somebody, and it's supposed to be out of their eye line, like by a door or something. But I guess it got scrapped. I don't know if it ever got filmed or not, but I think was something that was supposed to be in Man of Steel, leading up to him being Martian Manhunter.
That'd have been dope. Did they make an extended version of Man of Steel?
There is not a director's cut, I don't believe. But there's a ton of extra scenes on the Blu-ray.
Yeah. Because I know I've watched some of those, but I don't recall any of that. So it must not have been either fully filmed or anything like that.
Yeah. But I remember them talking about that because he he wanted the to be able to be Martian Manhunter. And I was like, all right, let's do it. Fuck it.
Right, let's do it.
At this point, if I was Zack Snyder, I'd be throwing everybody in there. I'd be like, hey, yo, you want to be Miracle Man? We're going to call you. You're going to be in here too. I don't care.
Right. This is my last hurrah. Let's make it a hurrah.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Like, what are they going to say? No?
Right. Last two things. If I were to ask you, what do you think of The Boys as being one of Obama's top 10 shows of last year, what would your reaction be?
I saw that and I was like, fuck yeah, Obama.
Right?
Fuck yeah, dude. That tells you that dude's smart.
Right? The show's amazing, and to know that it's one of his top 10 shows of last year, you're like, yo, that's wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shit that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit, yeah. Yeah, Eric Kripke said he wants to invite him to the set.
Oh,
for season 3.
That'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Have him do like a cameo in it or something.
Yeah, dude, it'd be fucking amazing. Anyhow.
The final thing here, have you finished, how far did you get into The Expanse?
So nowhere. I have not started the new season.
Not very hard.
It is my next thing.
But you're rewatching it with Paige.
So we started it, and then
I hear a lot of excuses coming up.
Yeah. So I found it on Amazon. We were gonna watch it, and then we didn't.
You're hovering over the play.
Yep, I had it. It was on the screen. I could see it. Season 1. Here you go. Episode 1.
Stay on target.
Then we didn't. No reason why. Joe, what happened to your lights?
What lights?
Your picture just went weird all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it just went like black, but like spotlights in your house, and now you're just a little exclamation mark on my screen.
I see myself fine.
Good. That's good to hear. Not that it matters because this is an audio podcast. No one can see it anyways. I thought I lost you for a second. Yeah, no, I don't have...
somebody dead standing behind me. It's fine.
Yeah, not yet. So you don't have a reason why we didn't start it. We were gonna, and then we didn't. That was all that... there's no excuse why.
Fair enough.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I came out of my funk enough to finish the series. So I was watching the last episode, episode 10 of season 5. That episode will wreck you.
Oh no!
That episode will wreck you.
Oh no! Just tell me this without saying anything. Does it confirm a time jump?
No.
Okay.
But that's what I'm going to get into. So, apparently, because we all know next season, season 6, is going to be the last season of The Expanse.
Yes. In
a discussion somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but the writers of the books and part of the series itself, Daniel Abram and Ty Frank, or James S.A. Corey as their pen name is, said that the end of book 6 is a natural ending for the TV series.
Oh, fuck off. Really?
Yep. So they're not even going to do the jump.
You're going to leave the show at that?
Yep. Now they do. There is rumors. There is talk that Alcon Media, the company that actually produces the show, is trying to do other stuff with the series, but there's no exact idea if they're going to finish the books. But as it stands now, they have said that the end of book 6, before the 30-year jump, so they're going to end the arc of the war with the Free Navy, and Marco and Aros, and that's it. That's the end of the show.
You fucking kidding me?
Yep.
Oh man, I hope they don't end it the way they do that book.
They probably.
Oh my God. I haven't seen the season, so I don't know where. Well, I mean, technically, book 5.
I will say this: that season 5 does follow the books pretty well. There is definitely stuff that is different, but the overall arc of season 5 is there.
Do they do the underground prison?
Yes.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's
they
interesting.
do. So they bring back Clarissa Mao,
Okay.
Peaches, and basically the whole major arc points for season 5 that you got from the book are there.
So they do it, huh? They actually drop rocks.
Yes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, at the end of season 4 and the end of book 4, they're clearly telling you they're going to. But you're in the books. I remember you and I talking about this. We were like, bullshit. There's no way they're going to do that. And then they did it. And I was like, oh, these guys don't give a fuck. They're like, I know you for a fact you worked for George R. R. Martin now because you just fucked everyone over.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Man. Okay. That is depressing.
Right?
It's depressing thing. I think 6 seasons is an extremely good run for any TV show.
Especially when you come back from being canceled.
Yeah. Like you get a whole extra half or double your seasons, and that's pretty good, I think.
Yeah. But the fact that they are ending it at the end of the war with the Free Navy, which they basically explained in the article that I was reading, it was pretty funny. They compare it to Infinity War. This is their Infinity War. Next season is their Infinity War, where just everything shit hits the fan, and it's just the war, the whole entire season. So that's going to be pretty awesome to watch. But the fact that they're going to end it there, and we're not even going to get the Laconia stuff. We're not going to get the Laconia Wars.
Yeah. Because there's some shit that happens.
It's extremely frustrating. Unless they pull some other magic where they decide to bring that stuff forward.
Oh, without doing the 30-year time jump?
Not do the 30-year time jump.
They could. Because they could lead the end of the Free Navy War could lead directly into the what's his face's forces coming in and obviously trying to take over the Sol system.
Duarte,
yeah, couldn't think of his name.
But we'll see. But
Man,
they said at the end of book 6 is a natural ending point for the show, and that they're going to try and do other stuff with the series. But that doesn't necessarily say that they're doing more stuff with the Rocinante and Holden. It kind of sounded like they wanted to do more stuff within the universe as a whole. Which I think would work if they could do it, but also kind of sucks because even the books haven't explained the aliens yet, really.
No.
And to have such a big thing in the show as well that you kind of have left off on the side burner, except you hint at it at the end of every single season. You just, oh yeah, remember these alien things? Yeah, man, they're still there in the background. And by the way, we're ending it next season. What the fuck are you going to do? Yeah,
and that's the thing too. Is like season 4, even in book 4, is so much more about the like not the proto-molecule itself, but like the creators of it and like the whole like outside the ring gates and blah blah blah. And then book 5, and again, probably obviously the way you're talking about it, the series or season 5 is so much more because it takes place all in Seoul.
Yeah.
And doesn't even talk about like, because it wasn't until book 6 where they went back to the ring gate because of the whole thing with Duarte and blah blah blah. So
because
like
the Free Navy took over Medina Station.
Yeah.
And so it was them having to get Medina Station back, and that was that's what we're going to get next season with book 6 is them taking the Medina Station back.
I wonder if they're going to end it with them. Oh, no, because even in the book, before the 30-year time jump, there isn't a conclusion. They're all separated again, and nothing's resolved at the end of them getting the station back, if you want to call that getting the station back. Interesting.
Yep.
Well, that's disturbing in its own right.
Yep. Anyway, that's all I've got.
Cool.
For this week.
All right. Well, that was a fun little jaunt. But that's it for this week's episode of Come Naturally. We are
Joe.
I'm Cody. And that's it. And as usual, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.